Hey, it's Marina, the Trader Chick, and today I got a secret hack for you. I'm going to give you a little bit of a trick for your wins and your losses. And once you learn this, I guarantee you will be profiting consistently and with simplicity. Are you ready for the secret hack? Let's begin. All right, guys, ready for some secret hacks for your wins and your losses? I've got some good ones for you. First of all, let me tell you something. There is such a thing called a threshold for your wins and for your losses. So let me explain a little bit what that means. Here's the reality, guys. Everybody wants to make a ton of money. We want that, I know. And everybody I hear, I want to make $1,000 a day. I want to make $500 per day. Meanwhile, they're making negative $50 a day, negative 100, and are pissed the fuck off that they're not making their $500 to $1,000 per day, right? So here's the thing, guys. And what's funny, or I should say not funny, but ironic, is they usually are profiting, but they are just getting more revved up and greedier. I can make more. I could do more. I can make more. So we have a threshold for wins, including losses. Nobody talks about the wins threshold. We all hear about the loss threshold. And what does the loss threshold really mean? It means how much money are you truly willing to lose for one day. But that takes into a very important account that you actually have a risk management in place, because many people have a mental stop in place. How many heard of those mental stops? Or how many of you guys do those mental stops? Yeah, I've been there. I've done that. I've lost several accounts. So what happens when we have a mental stop? The ego will always win, right? And we will never permit ourselves to admit that we're losing. Yet, if we are a trained strategic trader, we have a risk place, right? We are telling the market, this is all I am willing to risk on this particular trade. And what you're also doing is you have a very specific amount of a loss for the day. Whatever your loss threshold is, let's say it's $100, $200, it depends on you, obviously, but you need to stick to that threshold, right? We understand that. However, what people don't understand and never ever consider is that there is a winning threshold. What does a winning threshold really mean? It means you should also tell yourself the amount of wins you are going to permit yourself to have for the day. And you have to be reasonable and realistic, okay? Why? Because there is this thing called energy and energy exertion. So we understand if we are taking trades that we are strategic on, we have practice and back test. These are things that I don't even want to get into in this video. I have many other videos that you could go over to understand how important back testing is and having a strategy. So I'm going to just go with the given that you have that already, that you already have a plan, that you have trade setups that you know and understand, and sometimes they will lose, right? So here's the thing, guys. Energy exertion happens if you are winning or if you are losing. So let me explain it a little bit more to you. When you are taking certain amount of trades, if you're sitting in front of the market and you are watching the market and you're seeing what's happening in the market and you're seeing a trade happen and you put in that trade, you enter the trade, you're sitting there and you win. So what happens? All that time, your mind has been working. You might not be exercising, but you're certainly using your mind. And it's a very physical activity, day trading, correct? So you're already using energy. And even if you win, you're all excited, more energy, right? We as traders, as humans, only have a certain amount of energy that we could really put in. I'm going to give you an example. Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, we know these names. These are the best athletes in the world. I could go into many more. These guys are as the best as they could get. They know that they could probably only put in their best for an hour and a half, maybe. I don't know. I don't have scientific facts, but it's usually approximately around there. Now, these guys are the best of the best. They train 8 hours per day. They have been training for 20 years. They are masters. They know their exertion limit, right? And we're talking these guys have won and won again, correct? Yet they know their energy exertion level. Day traders, they don't. They think, okay, if I win, I can go again. But they forget that their energy is already going lower and lower. We as traders never want to go into the emotional trading because that's when we stop to be rational and take valid trades. Okay, now let's go into a losing setup. We've taken a trade that we know that can win, but sometimes they lose. And it sucks. It sucks even if you know that particular trade wins you 80% of the time, but this particular 20% you lost. It sucks. Guess what? You just used up energy, and you've actually used up even more energy because it's an emotion that is a negative reaction and it sucks. So you've used up that energy. Right now, I want you to think of this, right? Again, going back to that analogy of Michael Jordan, of Michael Phelps, these guys, they're winning and they're using energy and they know that because they could only do a certain amount. Even if they're losing and they know when they're lost, they probably cannot put in as much energy, right? Why? Because like a phone, and I'm going to give this to you example as a phone. Now, imagine here is your phone, and there are some things on my phone, like if I'm on a Zoom call with my phone, it uses the battery a lot quicker, right? Than if I was just to have my phone normally and sometimes scroll through Instagram or check my email, right? It doesn't use as much energy, correct? So it could go longer. When you are entering trades, we use that energy a lot faster, right? But we use less energy when we're winning, which is understandable, but we're still using energy. We are still exerting ourselves. Now, if you are taking 2 or 3 losses in a row, your energy is going to go down super quick. What does that mean? Your battery is going to go down really quick. And the problem with losing trades is you become emotional a lot faster. You as a trader, it is your job to stay strategic, tactical, lucid, and not emotional, to be taking valid trades, to be making good decisions. So here is my exercise to you guys. You need to know what is your threshold for wins. How many wins, how many good trades are you able to take before you start to feel yourself losing that energy, losing that lucidness, losing that clarity? And you have to know what is your threshold for losing trades. And I'm not even talking about the actual dollar amount, which is very important. You should have that amount as well. But also sometimes you'll take 3 losing trades and it won't come up to that dollar amount. But look at your energy. You'll see that your energy gets low. Now, I want to hear from you guys in your comments. What do you do for that? What do you do to stay strong? And what is your threshold? So put it down in the comments because I know many other people would love to know what is your threshold for wins and what is your threshold for losing trades. Because remember, we are like the phone. If I'm going to be on my phone with a Zoom or a really important phone call or something that's going to take up my battery quicker, I know that I need to charge it. It's not going to go that much longer versus if I'm just scrolling around, and sometimes that could last a lot longer. So you guys have to be responsible, and that is your job as the trader. So that is my secret hack to you guys, okay? Is understanding your threshold. Comment below and subscribe. I've got a lot more amazing videos just like this because these little facts no one talks about, and these facts is what's going to get you from here to going to the level that you want of consistency, profitability, and being a good trader. All right, guys, thanks for joining me, and remember, subscribe below, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.